Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to my channel. My name's Donna, and this is Donna Loves Yarn, because I do. I think I need to bring this down a little bit. That's better. Sorry about that. I should have done that ahead of time. I've been adjusting, getting ready for today, so I apologize. Anyway, hello again. Welcome in. I appreciate you being here. Today is April 24th, 2024. And it is it's a Tuesday. The time right now is 5:30, approximately 5:30 p.m. And the sun has started to go down, so it's not beating in through the window. I took my glasses off because the glare was driving me crazy. Anyway, with all that out of the way, thank you again for joining me. For any of you that are new here, welcome. This channel is primarily about crochet and yarn, not necessarily in that order. So if you like one or both, you're in the right place. And I hope you enjoy it here, and I hope you stick around and come back often. I have a few points to go over today. This may be a little longer video because it has been about a week since I posted a video. So there's been a few things happening that I thought I would share with you. I just had a thought and it escaped me. Anyway, as usual, this is unscripted. It's just off the top of my head and out my mouth. So if you don't mind that kind of thing, you're really going to like it here. I'm a very down-to-earth person. I don't pretend to be somebody I'm not. Not that I'm pointing any fingers. But this channel is far from production quality. It's just me sitting here talking to a friend about things that we both love. Right? So, if you're a new subscriber, welcome. I appreciate you joining. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back to watch today. I hope I can provide some entertainment for all of the above. So to start with, I'll start with my haircut. I finally got my haircut. It was driving me insane. It was way too long, just driving me crazy. My bangs were in my face all the time, and it was just driving me batty. So Saturday I went and got my haircut, and I like it so much better. I'm getting older, and I'm realizing as I'm getting older, I don't want to fuss with any of that. Now I understand why so many people over a certain age, prefer short hair. Because who has time for all that primping? Those days are gone for me. I haven't primped since I left my job in 2019. I used to do the whole schmear. I did the makeup, the full face, foundation, everything. That was my passion for a long time before I found crochet. So my passions have definitely changed over the years. I was crazy about crochet I was crazy about makeup before that, or maybe even during that time. I was into cross stitch. And I was as crazy about cross stitch then as I am about crochet now. I mean, I was every waking moment, my thoughts were of Ada cloth and floss and needles and, all that stuff. And if it weren't for my tremor, I might try to get into it again. But no, because I remember dealing with all of the little threads all over the house. I'll never forget that. And I just I don't want to handle that anymore. Brandy at Queen of Skeins, if you can relate, put in a comment. I miss you, by the way. I miss your videos. I hope you post something soon. I'm going to tag her channel below. I love Brandy. She's so sweet. She just started a new job, so she hasn't posted anything for quite a while. So she must be keeping very busy. Hi, Brandy, if you're watching. Anyway, I got the haircut. I'm so glad. Next thing that I wanted to talk about, let's see, I wonder if I should go in any particular order. I'll go ahead and get this out of the way instead of saving it to the end. I was going to save it to the end. I have a video, or I've got a deadline for a giveaway is this Friday, the 26th. So if you haven't checked out that video, I'll try to link it below. You have to be a subscriber to be eligible to win. This is my very first giveaway ever. So, Vickie, if you're watching, I watched your video today, so I will be able to pass on some information to you once my giveaway's over on Friday. Okay? Because I had to ask about the random comment picker too. So I've got that coming up on Friday. It's a shawl giveaway, and right now there's not very many comments. So I would love to have some more comments and a bigger turnout for that video, or for that giveaway. Please, please, please go subscribe, check out that video, and put in your comment that's appropriate for that video, and be watching for the giveaway results on Friday, probably about this time. Definitely about this time, or maybe after dinner time, so that I'm sure that the sun isn't beating down in here. And I have to prepare. I still have to take pictures of the shawls and all that. So anyway, and I don't know that I'll share the pictures of the shawls. Oh, I already did in my giveaway video. I already did that. I numbered them. I already did. So, pardon me. Senior brain. Sorry. So anyway, that's coming up on Friday. Let's see here. I'll just get into my whips. I'll go ahead and get into the whips, and then I have an acquisition to show you. I have another couple things I need to talk to you about, or I want to talk to you about. I don't need to, but I want to. So I've got two whips here in front of me. One of them I've showed you before. By the way, I have had some major startitis. Anybody that can relate, put your hand up and put a comment below. Me too. I mean, every time I come in this room, I think that's one reason I don't come in here to get everything cleared out, because I think if I did, I'd want to start something with every piece of yarn in here, including everything that's in that tower right there. That's all of my highest end stuff. And it's just calling my name. It wants to be made into something, but I got to get some stuff finished. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. That's why this room is still such a wreck. You can't see it. Thank you. That's okay. Anyway, I've shown this one before. This is called, and I don't know if I'm mispronouncing it. I forgot to cut my yarn, so no, I didn't. Excuse me. I had yarn barf on the floor. So this is called the Raiwë shawl. I hope I'm saying it right. Let me show you the pattern. the front of the pattern so you can see how it's spelled. If I can, do I have the front page? May not have the front page. I don't have the front page. Anyway, it's spelled Raiwe, and I can't remember the pattern designer, or I would share that with you also. Shame on me. Oh, here's the other part of it. There it is. Okay, I got it. So I've shared this before, from KAME Crochet, and it's the Raiwë shawl. Raiwë, something. They have a Facebook group, by the way. So I've been working on this little by little. Let's see what direction. I'm working this way. So this is the beginning. And I realized after I'd done this that I did this row of white a little different. I'm missing a row. This row here should have been white, just like this row here. So hopefully that's not very noticeable, but looking at it on the screen, I think it kind of is. So I'm going to have to copy it exactly like this on the way towards the end. But isn't that pretty? I think that's really pretty. This is 100% cotton from K&C. So there's that. That's the cake. Pink and orange. And then I am working on, I've got all these pages of, okay. They're all jumbled up pages. All right, so I want to make a wearable. I've said this before. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. I want to make a wearable, but it's got to be something simple that doesn't require seaming on the sides and seaming up here and all that jazz. Because I don't want to do all that, because it makes me nervous. So I think I was looking through Ravelry, maybe. I think. I don't remember if I had a yarn in mind. I think maybe I did. It's funny which comes first, the idea or the yarn. The yarn sparks an idea, or the idea sparks the yarn. I don't know which happened in this case, but I happened to be looking on Ravelry and came upon this pattern from Ashley at Heart Hook Home, and it's called the Everyday Tank. So I thought, I've thought of this before, trying a tank top. Number one, it's probably fast. Number two, it's probably simple. And this one is done in the round from the bottom up. So great. I think the only seaming I might have to do is here, which shouldn't be a problem, because if it's here, you know, you're working this way and you're working that way. So you should have defined stitches to join here, if it is indeed in two pieces. Or not two pieces. It's in the round, so it's not in two pieces. Anyway, let me show it to you. I don't know what I'm talking about half the time. So this is supposed to be a medium, and I had my sister in mind for this, and she's a little petite thing. And she says she wears mediums. So I picked the medium size and the correct hook. I didn't do a gauge swatch. I didn't feel the need. If it doesn't fit her, I'll give it to or sell it to somebody else that it'll fit. But this looks awful big for a medium. But these colors, this color combination is perfect. I am so happy with this color combination. So the mixed color is from a Mary Maxim. It's Silk Merino. I got this a long time ago, and I bought it, and it wasn't in a mystery bag or anything like that, but there's that. It's a one weight, and it is I guess it's merino and silk. 65 merino, 25 nylon, 10% recycled silk. So that makes sense. I hadn't looked at that. It's not extremely soft. Not extremely soft. So I hope it's okay next to the skin. I really hope. I don't know. I hope so. But I think that's turning out really pretty. And it's an easy, what stitch is it? That's it's a particular stitch. The lemon peel stitch, I think, where you have single crochet, double crochet, single crochet, double crochet. Then the next row, you're putting doubles into singles and singles into doubles. I think that's the lemon peel stitch. There's probably no other names for it, but it's easy. There have been times that I've goofed and put like 3 singles in a row, but it's all worked out. But this seems awfully big for a medium. I mean, yeah, it'd be down here. It's going to be too small for me, although it's probably going to stretch. It might fit me, but I don't wear tank tops. If it don't have sleeves, I'm not going to wear it. So we'll see how it turns out. It'll probably take me a while to finish because I've got so much other stuff going. So those are my 2 active whips right now. I started another project last night, and basically it was just practice because I got my Tunisian crochet hook set from AliExpress yesterday. So the first thing that I wanted to do was play with it and do some practicing. So I did. I had some Malabrigo worsted in the color Sealing Wax. And I was thinking I was going to do a scarf with it. I have probably just enough to at least get the scarf started. I have some other worsted that probably would have worked with it, doing color work. But I was struggling with the final stitch on the forward pass. I was struggling with that final stitch that you go into 2 loops. And I watched 2 of Toni's videos, Toni Lipsy at TL Yarn Crafts. I watched 2 of her videos. And I still wasn't clear, because when I get to the end, I already have so many rows. I have more than 1 row. So when I get to the end, it almost looks like I've got two possibilities for stitches to go into, and I don't know which one to go into. So I probably had, maybe 15 rows, and it was 33 stitches wide. I think it was about 10 or 15 rows. And it was very clear on the left-hand side that I wasn't going into the right stitches on the end. So I frogged it all back. I just frogged it all. And I started working with another yarn. So I've just been playing with it. The Malabrigo, I was using the 6mm. And then, excuse me, I broke out the 6.5 to work with the DK weight yarn. And I was finding that it was a little bit splitty with this, and because this is so sharp, it was splitting the fibers. So this might not be a very good set if you have a yarn that tends to split. I've worked with this same yarn with a regular clover hook, and I don't ever have a problem with splitting. So that's all I can attribute it to. But oh my gosh, these hooks are beautiful. And some people have mentioned that the finish has come off. I looked at each and every one of mine, and the finish is fine. Some have even said that the numbers were kind of off. They weren't centered in this area. All of mine were centered. These are nice. Really nice. And probably the best part to me, and I am no expert by any means on Tunisian, but I have played with it a little bit for about the last year. And if these cables don't swivel if they don't swivel, then they're going to be constantly doing this. And that's very difficult. So when I watched Toni's review of these back in February, and she was impressed, when I knew she was impressed, I knew it was a good set to buy, and at half the price of some of the more desirable Tunisian hook sets. It took 2 months for me to get it, but it was well worth the wait, in my opinion. You get 4 different sizes of cables. You get 4 stoppers, and plenty of hooks. Let me just take them out and show you. I'm not going to demonstrate them or anything like that. I'm just going to show you. Super nice. I was, every time I watched a review, they were showing this, and I'm like, that looks kind of cheesy. What the heck kind of stuff is that? It's kind of cheesy. But, it seems good quality. This board, it seems good quality. And then the little pouch, first thing I did was smell it. And it did have an odor, and not a terrible odor, but it did have an odor at the beginning. And that odor is gone. And I just got this yesterday. But see the inside, green, and then it's got a pocket, which is nice to keep all of your little accessories. Actually, it's not a pocket, it's a divider. It's more of a divider. So you can keep your accessories on one side and your hooks on the other. So that's sweet. That is sweet. So I am looking forward to learning my way through Tunisian crochet. Lynn Ann over at Nina's Knots, she's going to be starting a crochet along starting, let's see, I think the end of first part of May through June something. So I think it's about 6 weeks. And I'm thinking about joining that. I've already downloaded and printed the pattern, and I'm going to look over it and see if I can at least get started on it. Again, I am very beginner when it comes to Tunisian. I can get my way through the Tunisian simple stitch. I kind of know the knit stitch. And that's really about it. That's really about it. I played with the honeycomb stitch last night, and I guess it's easy. It's kind of weird to get used to, but I guess it's easy. So I'll be starting that Tunisian. It was hard for me to put the needle down and go to bed, but I did. So I wanted to share that with you, and that I got that set. So that's exciting. The next exciting thing is, thanks to Thryss at Thryss and Stitches, I decided to try my hand at dyeing yarn. And Marti, if you're watching, you'll get to see what I did. Oh my goodness. You okay? Sorry about that. I'm very clumsy. So, Thryss was doing a whole lot of dyeing before Crystal had her 1 million subscriber celebration. She was posting videos just about every day showing all this dyeing she was doing. And there were 2 colors that she used that I just absolutely thought, okay, that's it. I got to try it because I really like those colors. One was Twilight Gray. The other was Olive Brown. I'm a big fan of purple and green, and when she said that Twilight Gray broke purple and there was green, I said, oh gosh, that's right up my alley. And she even said she really liked it. So I bought it. I bought those 2 colors, and they've been sitting here just waiting. Basically waiting because I had nothing to cook them in. I didn't have citric acid. Every time I did an Instacart order, I tried to get citric acid. Nobody had any. So I had to order it through Amazon. And then I remember seeing a video a while back, and then I guess I saw another one recently where you can use a crock pot. You can use crock pot to dye yarn. You don't have to have one of those big stainless steel, what do they call them? Steamer trays or whatever. You don't have to have one of those. So I was going to go to the thrift store and buy a crock pot. Well, I remembered I had an old one at the place I used to live, and I knew that I had to go there this past weekend to get more of my stuff. And yes, there's still my stuff over there. So the crock pot was there. I haven't used this thing I probably haven't used it in almost 10 years. This crock pot is at least 20 years old. I got it as a wedding gift. I believe in 2000 was when I got married to one of my husbands. So anyway, it's old, but it still worked. Apparently it still worked. I put it downstairs in the basement, set up a table, because I didn't want to put it up here. I don't have a lot of counter space in my kitchen anyway. So I set everything up downstairs, poured the water in, put the citric acid in. I even used distilled water, plugged it in, turned it on high, and let it go till it got up to temperature. And from what I read, it has to be somewhere between 190 and 211 or something for dyeing. Well, I go downstairs. First time I went, it was 117. Next time I went, it was almost 130. Then I went again, it was like 138. And each time I waited like an hour or more between checks. And I thought, after like 3 hours, it only gets up to 138. There's no way this is going to get up to nearly 200. There's just no way. So then I thought, okay, well, I can boil water and then pour it into the crock pot to still do the dyeing in there. Well, I didn't want to schlep everything upstairs, and I remembered I had an induction cooktop that I had loaned my son a while back. So I'm looking all over the basement looking for that induction cooktop. I could not find it. Clearly I didn't look in the correct box. So I'm texting him, asking him, do you remember bringing that here? And he said, I thought I remember packing it. Well, if he had told me that it was in a big box, I would have looked in some big boxes. There was a big box downstairs that had some foam in it from his Sleep Number bed. I thought, that's probably all that's in there, so I didn't bother to look in there. Well, he gets home last night. That's when he told me, I think it's in a big box. As a matter of fact, I think it's in that big box. So I go and look, and lo and behold, there it is. Well, I had already gone ahead and brought everything upstairs, put a pot on the stove, boiled, got the water up hot enough, put it in the crock pot, and went ahead and dyed my yarn. I took a picture, and I'll put that here, took a picture of the yarn with the dye on it, sprinkled it on there. I wished I'd had an extra little bitty strainer, because I would have rather put it in that than using a spoon, plastic spoon. But that's the only little tiny strainer I have, and I didn't want to have to replace it, because from my understanding, if you're using anything for acid dyeing, you cannot use it for anything but acid dyeing from that day forward. So I knew that I would have to replace it. Not that I use it a whole lot, but I just didn't want to have to replace it. So I'm going to have to go to the thrift store, maybe get me one that I can use for that. Anyway, so I put all the water in there. I had been soaking I had 2 hanks. I'd been soaking those for several hours. That's why I knew I had to go ahead and proceed. Because what do you do now with wet yarn? I didn't want to have to hang it up and dry it for another day. So that's why I was determined to do this yesterday. So yeah, I went ahead and I put 1 hank in. I didn't put them both in there. Put one hank in because I was going to do them 2 separate colors. I didn't want to do them the same. And the crock pot I have it's oval. And I mean, it's a big crock pot. It's probably, the liner is probably this big, but I didn't think I'd have enough room for both. So I just did one at a time. So I put the first one in there, took the twilight gray, and just kind of sprinkled that on top. Well, now I know for next time, I was a little bit too heavy-handed, in my opinion. And if I had had that strainer, I would have been able to do it a lot more evenly across the top. As a matter of fact, next time I think I'll just do a dye stock solution instead of using it dry. I think it'll go further if I do that. So I did that, sprinkled it on top. And first it struck really pretty purple. So this is going to be really pretty. So I took my tongs. Thank goodness I have other tongs. I used one of my favorite tongs, and I wished I hadn't done that, but I have another pair that's just like it, just longer. So I took the tongs and I, pressed on the yarn for the dye to go all across the top of the yarn. Put the lid on it, let it set. Went back about 30 minutes later. The water was kind of muddy looking, but I could tell that the dye had pretty much been spent. So I grabbed up the yarn, twisted it, and turned it over, laid it on the other side, and I could see the other side hadn't been dyed all the way through. So repeated that process, but I think that side I did with the olive brown. I think. Pretty sure I did. And that was my plan anyway for that first one, to do both colors. So anyway, enough talk. I'm going to show you. And I have a picture here of it drying outside because my lighting isn't the greatest in here. So I wanted to give you a good representation of how the colors turned out. But it's primarily blues and purples. There's a little bit of green in here and some kind of, I don't know. It's a weird color. But I went ahead and caked it up. And I know this isn't going to show up all that great. Let me turn this on and see if that helps. A little bit. And yeah, I know there's parts in there that didn't take the dye. That's fine. Gives it character. So that was made using Willow Daily that I got from Hirschner's. This is a DK yarn, and it was white. So I think it took the dye pretty well. So I will probably, I've got 3 more of the white, so I'll probably dye some more, but I'm going to go find me another crock pot that is maybe a little bit newer, so I don't have to mess with boiling the water first and all that. So the second one I did, so when I took that out, the water was kind of a real ugly olive kind of yellow. So I put the second one in knowing that I was going to do the second one all olive brown. And so I knew that if there was any dye that hadn't been spent yet, that it would automatically absorb into this second one, which was fine with me. So that's how that one turned out. And they're very similar. This one isn't as dark, but it's kind of got the same colors. Probably more indigo blues. And then kind of that dirty yellowish brown. But it's still cool. And this yarn was I got from Temu, and it was undyed. And I can't remember whether it was Swan Lake or if it was Lotus. So it was one of these. I'm thinking it was this one. I'm pretty sure it was this one. Now that I'm comparing them, I'm pretty sure that it was Swan Lake. I must have thrown away the tag because I remember taking the tag off. I don't know though, now that I'm looking at them side by side, because this is really fine. So it may not. It may have been the Lotus. It may have been the Lotus after all. And this would have been 85 superwash, 15% nylon. Yeah, because it's I don't think it's as fine. It's not as fine as the Swan Lake. So it was the Lotus. Anyway, that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. Doing that. Let me turn this back off. Whoop. All right. That was a lot of fun. It was kind of stressful, but it was a lot of fun. So I will definitely do that again. I don't have any more of this undyed, but I do have some yarn that I would like to try to over dye. As a matter of fact, I think that might be it right there. Thryss has this yarn also from Knit Crate in that very color. So I'm going to have to order some more dye from, can't think of the name of the company right now, but I'm going to have to order some more, and maybe in a blue to over dye that green. And then I want to get, I've got that same yarn in an orange. I think that's right there next to it. She did the orange, and I think she did it in like a fluorescent pink. So I think that's a good idea to go over that with a pink. 'Cause I love orange and pink, obviously. So that's my dyeing experience. It was quite interesting. And my crock pot liner is white. So right now it's just this gross color. Ugh. And I don't know if I wash it out, I'm sure it's stained for good, which is fine. I don't care. I won't use it. But anyway, that was kind of fun to do, and I look forward to doing it again. Okay, the next thing on the agenda, I will talk about my sourdough bread. I think I might have talked about it in my last video. I made bread for a customer, and he picked it up last Saturday morning. And let's see. Oh, so I made some for him, just one loaf, and then I made 4 total. So I made one for me, I made one for the dude, and then the other 2, I won't bore you with the story, but they went to a local gal that I've sold bread to before. So I took those to her on Saturday. He picked his up Saturday morning, so I kept mine. Well, soon after I started that batch of 4, another old customer reached out to me, and I sold bread to her when I was at the farmer's market. I probably met her a couple of years ago. Might have even been my first year there. Could have been my first year there that I met her. So I've sold bread to her from time to time over the last 3 years. And she reached out to me and asked me for some bread. And she requested, now how's this for a flavor? I've made this before. This was a staple when I was doing market. And it was pretty popular. But it's bacon and cheddar sourdough. And at that time, I was using local bacon. One of our vendors had a farm, and they sold their meat there. So I would get, a pound or 2 of their bacon, and I would use that to make my bread. I don't do that anymore. I'm sure it's probably doubled in price since then. So when she asked for the bacon cheddar, I said, I don't have any bacon on hand. I said, but but I'm waiting on, I've got an Instacart order in process. I can go ahead and add bacon to my order, and I can do bacon and cheddar. So she said, okay. So I added the bacon, I got the bacon. And then she said, could I have 2 of each? So 2 bacon cheddar, 2 classic white. So I said, okay. I mean, it makes no difference to me if I make 2 or 4. No big deal. So I'll be starting those tomorrow. So 4 loaves for her. And now in the meantime, my sister is trying to get me to come back to her market on Saturday mornings. Well, I've already committed to going on the 11th with my crochet stuff. So she's twisting my arm, you know. I said, because I really don't have the space. Used to be when I would make a lot of bread at once, I had these big, huge bowls. I mean, huge. That I would be able to put, you know, 5, sometimes 6 batches of dough in one big bowl. And then I would dump it out on the counter, divide it out, shape it, and then put it in its proofing basket, and that's where it would go. I don't have the counter space anymore to do that. So now when I do dough, it's got to be each batch in its own individual bowl, which is fine. I have plenty of bowls that I just discovered. I've got at least 10 one batch size bowls. So I've committed to 6 to take to her market on the 11th. I don't know if I want to commit to 10. I probably could, and they'd probably sell. But that's a lot. Those bowls take up a lot of room. And I don't have the space. I really don't have the space. So I'm going to consider it, but for now I've committed myself to 6. So that'll be on the 11th that I'll be taking bread and crochet to her market. So I'm going to feed my starter one more time tonight so that it's good and bubbly in the morning, and start dough tomorrow for the bacon cheddar and classic white for 4 loaves. So that's the bread story. The very last thing I have to tell you is this weekend is a much anticipated event, and I'm very excited because I guess now in many communities across the country, there are some fiber festivals going on. As a matter of fact, I know there's one going on in St. Louis this weekend. I've heard other creators talk about other fiber festivals that they're going to. This one is called Knitting in the Heartland, and it's in Olathe, Kansas. My friend Kelly and I are going Saturday morning. She lives on the Kansas side. She lives probably a little bit closer to Olathe than I do. But we're going to meet up there at the hotel where the event is. But here's the card, Knitting in the Heartland. And if any of you are local to Kansas and, you know, would consider going, I'll be there. Betty, if you're watching, if you want to tag along, you can go if you want to go. So anyway, we're doing that. I'm meeting her at 9:30 in the morning, so early rising again for me. But that's okay. That's okay. It'll be a fun day. I am really looking forward to going. I'm excited. Very excited to go. So we're at 50 minutes. I think that's all I had for you today. So let me go look at my notes again. Yep, I think that's all I had for you. So I can't think of anything else to share. I've kind of given up on Crystal's crochet along. I mean, those videos are going to be there. You know, if I want to pick them back up, okay. But I kind of lost interest. A little bit. So we'll see. They're not going anywhere. I'm still working on my friend Jody's shawl. I can't show it to you because she might see this video. I had another few rows of it. That's got to be done. I'd like to have it done by the first week of May so I can get it washed and blocked and shipped to her in time for her birthday. So fingers crossed I get that done in time. But it's going to be really pretty. I'm probably going to have to buy another hank of yarn because I don't think one is enough. I'm probably going to have to buy a second. So I contacted Lori over at Knitcraft, and she's got 3 hanks of it. This particular colorway, I tried to see if I could find it anywhere else, and I could not. It's the Malabrigo sock in the colorway Truman. I couldn't find it, and Lori said she only has 3, so I asked her if she'd put one away for me, and I'll probably go get it next week sometime, maybe. Yarn coming. Judy over at Judy's Judy's Creations in Crochet. Sorry, Judy. She posted a video a couple days ago, and she's putting together mystery boxes. I don't know if she's already had enough requests for them, but I was probably one of the first ones to email her because the price was really good. For what she's sending, the price was really good. So dummy me emailed her the wrong zip code. So she emailed me today saying they wouldn't accept your zip code. So I looked back at the email. I gave her my old zip code. Gave her the right address, but the wrong zip code. So hopefully that ships out tomorrow, coming from Canada. And I'm excited about that. And then I've got the 10 skeins of Shawl in a Ball, which I think is supposed to be here Thursday. So I'm excited for that. And then who knows what I'll find at Knitting in the Heartland, that festival. Who knows what I'll find. We'll see. Maybe I'll get a good deal on some undyed yarn. That's what I'd like to do. I'd like to dye some more. So I think that's all I've got, you guys. Thanks for hanging around this long if you did. And like I said, go over and check out the giveaway video and subscribe and post some comments, and we'll get that giveaway done on Friday evening. I'll have to get my laptop situated in here so that I can record as it's shown on the laptop. So I'm going to have to dust that off and bring it in here tomorrow. I mean, I know it's working. It's on right now. But I need to download a comment picker. I don't know if you have to download it or you just go. I think you just go there. But Vickie, if you just go into your search engine and type YouTube random comment picker, you should be able to find one easily. That's what I was told. So that's what I'm going to do. Vickie's getting to be close to 500 subscribers. Vickie at Crochet with Vickie Joe. She's going to be doing a giveaway when she hits 500. So she's getting close. If you haven't checked her out, she's a God-loving Christian. So for those of you who like that kind of thing, yeah, go check her out. She's started a really good channel, so check her out. So that's all I've got. Nothing else to report, so I think I'll go ahead and let you guys go. Thanks again for watching, and I guess I will see you on Friday. Right? So go put some comments in on that video. If you want a shawl, I've got some pretty cool shawls. They're pretty cool. I will try to remember to link that video below. So take part in that, and maybe you'll get a shawl. It is open to U.S. residents only, by the way. So sorry to those of you who live outside the country. I'm sorry. We'll do better for 1,000. We'll do better then. So yeah, stick around till then. It'll be a good time. So I will sign off for now, guys. Have a great day, great week. May the Lord bless you and keep you, and his face shine upon you. And remember that he loves you. Jesus loves you. I love you. And we'll see you on the next one. See you later. Bye, guys.